Shout out to our sponsor, Hubble. Are you tired of overpaying for uncomfortable contact lenses? With Hubble, you can wear fresh contacts every day for $30 a month. Plus, you can get 2 weeks of free contacts when you visit hubblecontacts.com. Welcome to The Know, I'm Ashley Jenkins. Mass Effect Andromeda is getting memeified like crazy this week thanks to fishy animations, but those hoping for a day one fix are gonna be left a little bit disappointed. Andromeda's lead designer Ian Fraser confirmed on Twitter last night that animation fixes in the day one update were out of the question, writing, "At day one, no, that ship has sailed. We'll have more patches later on, but exactly what goes into them is still in discussion." Fraser also confirmed that the day one fix for the game is already live in the EA Access build that gamers currently have their hands on, so all those glitches, they're still gonna be there come Tuesday. Don't worry, the rest of you without EA Access can get in on all the meme fun when the game gets its proper release. We've been hearing all kinds of rumors about ports that people are dying for on the Nintendo Switch. Not literally dying, just figuratively. But now there are whispers floating around that one popular franchise could be making its way as well, Metal Gear Solid. But before you get too excited, you should temper those expectations because we're just talking about a GameCube remake / port, Twin Snakes by Silicon Knights. This news comes from Twitter, where one fan asked the former president of Silicon Knights, Dennis Dyack, if we might see Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes make its way over to the Switch. And to that question, Dyack simply replied, yes. Now, whether or not this is talking about an actual port of the game or it's simply referring to the rumored GameCube Virtual Console is unclear, but fans will no doubt be happy if Metal Gear Solid finds its way to the Switch in really any form. New consoles were all the rage last year, with Microsoft and Sony announcing new mid-generation refreshes and Nintendo announcing the Switch, but apparently all that hype didn't translate into a boon for sales. According to a new report from research firm IHS Markit, console revenue actually dropped 2.5% last year compared to 2015. This was due to a combination of a drop in sales and significant price cuts for both Xbox One and PS4. However, none of that downturn stopped Sony from absolutely dominating, as the report also states that the PS4 is currently enjoying 51% of the entire console market share, with a total of 53 million PS4s out in the wild. In 2017, IHS Markit expects Sony to continue the trend with an overall lift for all consoles thanks to the Nintendo Switch release. So we'll see how that goes. Either way, a downturn of 2.5% when you're in the middle of a generation is really not bad. Those hoping to get their nostalgia dose of Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic Mania are gonna have to wait just a little bit longer. Sega held a Sonic panel at South by Southwest this week here in Austin, where they announced that Sonic Mania will be delayed until this summer. The game was originally slated for the spring. However, it's not all bad news on the Sonic front. For once, the team also finally named what was originally known as Project Sonic 2017. The new game will be called Sonic Forces and features a brand new engine reminiscent of the gameplay seen in Sonic Generations. They've also released gameplay videos for both Sonic Mania and Sonic Forces, so whether you prefer old school or new hotness, you can get your fix. Now, we all knew the PlayStation 3 was in its twilight years thanks to the ridiculous performance of the PlayStation 4, but it looks like the console that used to look like a George Foreman grill is finally ready to hit the old dusty trail. Sony didn't make an official announcement that the PS3 is on its way out, but Japanese site GameStalk posted that the console's listing on the Japanese store has recently been updated with a new notice: shipments are scheduled to end soon. With the production ending on the console, that means the PS3 lasted from 2006 to 2017, selling a total of 86 million units. It also outlasted the Wii U, which has already ended production. So, farewell PS3, you brought us some really, really fantastic games, Spider-Man fonts, and a lot of awesome memories. Bad news, Aquaman fans. You guy. Actually, I think there are an awful lot of new Aquaman fans since Jason Momoa was announced. The standalone movie featuring everyone's favorite superhero with the amazing ability to swim has been delayed. Entertainment Weekly reports that the movie, which stars Jason Momoa in the lead role, as we've all seen with his dreads and his tattoos and his sweet merman tail, will now be released in December 21st, 2018. It previously had been announced for October 5th of that year, so not a huge delay, but a little bit. We will get to see Momoa as Aquaman this year, though, as part of the Justice League movie in November. Because I guess the team will be throwing a pool party? Or maybe they just need some really fresh sushi? At any rate, the fact that the studio is moving Aquaman closer to a Christmas release could indicate that it has a lot of confidence in the film, which would be some much needed good news for DC. The first Spider-Man spin-off movie is set to swing into theaters next year. GameSpot reports that a movie based around Spidey's nemesis Venom will be released on October 5th, 2018. It will also be written by Dante Harper, who wrote Edge of Tomorrow, and directed by Alex Kurtzman, who directed the upcoming reboot of The Mummy, complete with all the sound effects, except for that one trailer. We don't know yet what the story is going to be, though, or whether Venom will make an appearance in this year's Spider-Man Homecoming. Venom has already hit the big screen in 2007's Spider-Man 3 with Topher Grace playing journalist Eddie Brock, but of course, that was many Spider-Man iterations ago. And since this is Sony producing, it doesn't seem like this Venom will be part of the larger Marvel Cinematic Universe. But Sony does appear to be fleshing out its own Spider-Man universe. In addition to Venom, it apparently has another spin-off movie featuring the Sinister Six in the works. We've known about that one for a while, but haven't seen much yet. So, the new Power Rangers movie comes out next weekend, and you know what's not the best publicity for your movie about the Power Rangers? When a former Power Ranger is convicted for killing someone with a sword. Yes, actor Ricardo Medina Jr. pled guilty to stabbing his roommate to death with a sword and was convicted of voluntary manslaughter, according to Entertainment Weekly. He faces 6 years in prison and his sentencing is scheduled for March 30th. Medina wasn't one of the original Power Rangers, so there's that, but he did star as the Red Power Ranger in a few versions of the TV show, including Power Rangers Wild Force and Power Rangers Samurai, so look for him next in Power Rangers Conjugal Visits. Wink, wink. You know what is good marketing for Power Rangers? Twitch streaming like every Power Rangers episode. Come on, who hasn't caught at least a little bit of that and suddenly realized how much stock footage is in that show? Like, all of it. Moving on. Apparently, Russian raccoons don't know how to party. Hard-hitting news today. Gizmodo reports that employees at a petting zoo in Moscow say their raccoon was traumatized after they rented it to a production company for a video shoot. Zoo officials say that the video turned out to be an erotic one. And no, the raccoon, whose name is Thomas, is traumatized. Yeah, man, I remember watching Late Night Cinemax for the first time, too. It's a hard time. Also, hey, Russia, if you're looking for erotic photos featuring animals, check this one out. Now, for their part, the video firm claims it wasn't an erotic shoot, just an advertisement that featured a naked woman and a raccoon. Still, the zoo now claims that the raccoon came back withdrawn and now sleeps in a corner and snaps at people. Oh, and now it associates getting treats with a woman's breasts, which, I mean, hey, don't we all? Grow up, raccoon. One question about this story, though, I mean, there are a lot of questions, but just one of the many questions about this story. Why is there a raccoon in a petting zoo? I guess Russians really are tougher than the rest of us. The zookeeper is quoted as saying, "It's fine for kids to pet. It's probably not even rabbit. It's free, you pet." It is the point of a petting zoo. You pet the things. Little cute little trash pandas. All right, that's all the news we have for you guys today. Let us know what you think of all these stories down in the comments. And to make sure you get news from every corner of the internet, like this video. Yes, in spite of stories about raccoons and terrible conjugal visit puns, like it anyway. And if you're new around here, subscribe to The Know. Sometimes we have like real good stories because I couldn't be bothered with reordering them because it was difficult. I didn't know my prescription. You don't have to deal with any of that because Hubble actually sells directly to you. So they can offer contacts for half the price, so you can afford fresh contacts every day without breaking the bank. Plus, they can send you to an optometrist if you don't already have a prescription or if you don't know your prescription. If you want to give it a try, you can get 15 pairs of lenses for free. And come on, free's hard to beat. To get it, just go to hubblecontacts.com.